For Coast Guard rescues from their larger cutters, what might be effective is having actually a floating inflatable platform that would be extended along the side of the ship. It would be mounted on a roller, would be swung up past the deck of the ship, and then the floating platform would be unrolled and inflated. There would be a hose under pressure inside the tube, which would have pressurized air, which would fill each compartment. It would be made of a series of compartments, maybe 2 by 2 feet, which would be maybe 6 feet wide. Each compartment would then be individually filled with air, giving a working platform upon which Coast Guardsmen can operate to pull people from the water, essentially surfing as a raft. There would be wire rope handholds down the length of it. The wire rope handholds would have vertical risers to help attach it and to prevent them from getting loose and tangled. Coast Guardsmen could move in pairs. So as the lead Coast Guardsman holds up the rope, the second Coast Guardsman can pass past the vertical riser. They could be attached onto the cables with safety hooks, which they would then lock and release. So there'd be one safety hook in the left hand, one safety hook in the right hand. When they come to the vertical risers, they would unhook the safety cable from the right hand, pass it in front of the riser on the right side. They would unlock this left safety hook and then move it in front of the left riser and then move forward to the next one. This would prevent them from being washed away if necessary. Coast Guard rescue swimmers could also be used, obviously a little bit more hazardous, but they are trained to operate in rough water conditions. Its weight might be 10 pounds per square foot, which would be something equivalent of each of those cells having walls that are maybe a quarter of an inch thick. If it's 50 feet long and 6 feet wide, that's 300 square feet times 10 pounds would be 3,000 pounds. Its center would be about 25 feet from the spool upon which it would be rolled, and so the total moment it would produce is about 75,000 foot-pounds. If wind is blowing, if it is 20 feet above the water and 6 feet wide, that's 120 feet of surface area times a 10-foot lever. That would require force per square foot of about 60 pounds of wind pressure to pick it up. 60 pounds of wind pressure at sea level can be determined by multiplying it by a factor of 800, which is the density of air, divided by gravity, divided by a factor of 2. Product is then 48,000, and you take the square root of that, or 220 feet per second, which is about 150 miles per hour. So wind will not pick it up. It will stay on the surface. Coast Guardsmen can operate from it. When they are finished, it would then be rolled up again. The installation of scoops underneath the raft section at the back, which is actually floating on the water, might help to stabilize the raft. The scoops would be larger in front, smaller in the rear, and the ship would then direct itself into wave action, so that the energy of the waves is moving backwards through the scoops. That may very well help to stabilize the platform and make it easier for rescue operations. The scoops would be made of a molded piece of fabric, which would then be able to roll up with the inflatable raft when it is not in use. Before it is unrolled, a guide rope would be attached to the corner nearest the ship, and the guide rope would then be picked up on a spool to help hold and guide it along the side of the ship.